Hello everyone, you're now with me, Ruben Gomez for TVS Nightline. Now, let's begin. The 12th Malaysia Plan, a 5-year plan to take place from 2021 to 2025, aims to restore the momentum of economic growth and achieve long-term development goals as the country faces challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic, with the objective of a prosperous, inclusive and sustainable Malaysia. The 12th Malaysia Plan aims to generate not only the national wealth but also to enable the people to enjoy a better standard of living with a more equitable distributions of opportunities and outcomes, as well as ensuring environmental sustainability.
Kerajaan akan memperuntukkan sebanyak 400 bilion ringgit untuk membiayai projek sambungan dan projek baru di bawah RMK12. Pertama, merancangkan pertumbuhan ekonomi. Kedua, memperkukuh pemangkin pertumbuhan. Ketiga, meningkatkan kesejahteraan keluarga Malaysia. Keempat, memantapkan keselamatan dan ketenteraman awam. Kelima, membasmi kemiskinan dan merapatkan jurang pendapatan. Keenam, memperkasa agenda Bumi Putera dan keluarga Malaysia. Ketujuh, melonjakkan pembangunan Sabah, Sarawak dan negeri-negeri kurang membangun. Kelapan, mempercepatkan pertumbuhan hijau. Dan kesembilan, meningkatkan kecekapan penyampaian perkhidmatan awam dan memastikan pelaksanaan dasar yang berkesan.
The socio-economic development of Sabah and Sarawak will continue to be given priority under the 12th Malaysia Plan, in line with the federal government's commitment to solving the issues relating to the demands of the two states enshrined in the Malaysia Agreement 1963 MA63. These include the provisions of basic infrastructure, gas and electricity regulations, as well as in the aspect of digitalization and security.
Dengan pelaksanaan strategi dan inisiatif untuk melonjakkan pembangunan Sabah dan Sarawak ini, pertumbuhan purata KDNK tahunan negeri Sabah dijangka meningkat pada kadar 6.5% dan pada kadar 5.3%. Di Sarawak pada kadar 5.3% dalam tempoh 2021 hingga 2025. Saya berkeyakinan kedua-dua negeri ini mempunyai keupayaan dan kekuatan sumber yang boleh dioptimumkan sepenuhnya.
Commenting on the development in Sarawak, the Balai Hydroelectric Construction Project in Sarawak is expected to be completed in 2025. Apart from that, to ensure security and enhance economic ties with Kalimantan, Indonesia, the Prime Minister said the customs, immigration, quarantine and security ICQS complexes in Tebedu and Serikin, Sarawak will be upgraded. At the same time, the road project from the Baklalan border CIQ towards Lawas will begin construction in 2022. Meanwhile, touching on the healthcare aspects, Ismail Sabri explained that in the 12th MP, the service will be enhanced with the completion of the University Malaysia Sabah Hospital and University Malaysia Sarawak Hospital, besides the constructions of 26 new clinics in the two states. Additionally, 4.09 billion ringgit was allocated to Sarawak for the implementations of the National Digital Infrastructure Plan Jendela, which was believed to enhance broadband coverage. Still on the 12th Malaysia Plan, the detailed 5-year roadmap under the plan aims to elevate the higher quality of life by 2025. Among the keynote in his speech is the targeted gross domestic product GDP growth set at 4.5 to 5.5% per annum at the average household income of 10,000 ringgit.
Dengan terlaksananya pembaruan ini pada tahun 2025, Malaysia akan menjadi sebuah negara berpendapatan tinggi dan mempunyai kualiti hidup yang lebih baik. Dan kita juga berhasrat untuk menjadikan Malaysia sebuah negara berteknologi tinggi. Secara terperinci, saya ingin berkongsi beberapa matlamat utama dalam tempoh RMK ke-12. Pertama, pertumbuhan KDNK disasarkan pada kadar 4.5 sehingga 5.5% setahun dalam tempoh 2021-2025. Kedua, pendapatan isi rumah dianggarkan sebanyak kira-kira RM10,000 sebulan pada tahun 2025.
He added the 12th MP utilizes a whole-of-nation approach that will involve all government agencies, industry players, as well as society in a mission to transform the nation cohesively. Ismail also noted that the transformation targets are not merely about generating national wealth, but also preparing a future workforce for a more efficient implementation method in delivering services to the people. Meanwhile, a quick check at the Bursa Malaysia after the announcement found that the FTSE Bursa Malaysia KLCI fell 2.38 points to 1,520.68 as of 3 p.m.
More on the 12th Malaysia plan. The Lawas Customs, Immigration and Quarantine CIQ complex will begin its construction phase in 2022. The complex will further increase security in the state borders with Kalimantan while strengthening economic ties with Kalimantan.
The Lawas CIQ project will be implemented under the 7th focus of the 12th Malaysia Plan. At the same time, the Immigration, Customs, Quarantine and Security ICQS complexes located in Tebedu and Serikin will be upgraded. Such projects will also be implemented in Manalunan, Simangris and Kalakaban in Sabah. At the same time, the Prime Minister have also announced several initiatives to prevent the entry of illegal immigrants through the country's borders. This includes the Marine Police Sea Monitoring System implemented in 5 maritime regions, construction of Air Force Bear Base in Bintulu, construction of the Rendah Army Hospital in Melaka, and by increasing the number of maritime assets.
Efforts to reduce the economic development gaps among states, provinces, urban and rural areas remain a priority under the 12th Malaysia Plan 2021 to 2025. Such emphasis would also reduce the development gap between the rural and urban in Sarawak.
Political Secretary to the Chief Minister, Tan Kai, says to promote common prosperity amid high-quality development, the fruits of development to benefit socially disadvantaged groups as much as possible should be allowed. Particularly in Sarawak with its vast land and logistic difficulties.
Our people, most of the people either stay in the bandar or stay in the rural. So it's good how I see government to develop both bandar and the rural.
Tan Kai also says this will open job opportunity for the local and rural in the future and thus increasing the country economy after it's been affected by COVID-19. Meanwhile, to move towards recovery, the development of a productive and diversified private sector will become more imperative. As Malaysia aims its latest ambition of realizing a high-income growth trajectory by 2025, 5 years earlier than a target set by former Prime Minister Tun Mahathir Mohamad. Tan Kai said the country needs to strengthen private sector development to help the country recover from the pandemic and unlock its potential.
Because private sector, they have the advantage. Private sector, in terms of economy development, they are faster, they are flexible. Faster, flexible, and the strength of opportunity are stronger than the government. I think they both have an advantage. Whereas government sector, of course, because we want to make use of government funding, all this, there needs to be government sector. But private sector also they have their advantage economic.
The National Investment Aspiration Policy will be among the many policies and programs to stimulate the country's economic growth that will be rolled out under 12 MP. The government, through 12 MP, will empower transformation of the micro, small and medium-scale entrepreneurs, which the Prime Minister described as the backbone of the country's economy.
Feasible study should not be solely based on population ratio prior to establishing a health facility. Responding to 12 Malaysia Plan MP, tabled today, Dr. Anwar Pai suggested a minimum of service standard should be used instead to provide equal healthcare services to rural areas.
If you're still using the penduduk, okay, it might not be yang akan dapat memberi suatu keberkesanan yang menyeluruh for Sarawak. This is because taburan penduduk di Sarawak is very scattered. Okay, so if you want, for example, if you take an area in Sarawak, area A, okay, which have a population of very small population. Yeah. So sampai bila-bila pun that area will not have a hospital. Okay. To me, providing a health service should be based on how easy people get to access to health service. That is more important. Okay.
The government aims to improve hospital readiness by achieving a ratio of 2.06 hospital beds per 1,000 population by 2025. If the government continues to pursue the idea, clinics in rural Sarawak will not be upgraded due to low headcounts.
No, there masih banyak lagi klinik-klinik di Sarawak. Not only it is far to be accessed by the people, but the facilities is far behind. Okay, from other clinic. And just because if we base on the population, this clinic will never be upgraded. To me, as long as there is a people there must be a minimum ni maksudnya mesti ada doktor, mesti ada X-ray, mesti ada laboratory. Okay? And only then everybody will enjoy the same kemakmuran bersama.
Anwar reiterated the need to set a minimum health service to the people. Such can be achieved by providing efficient health checkup results.
You cannot wait for results to come back 2 months, 3 months. Whereas other people in the town dapat result or dapat pola X-ray within 1 day. Whereas people in rural have to walk very far, have to go very far to get an X-ray done. And an X-ray is not something which is very sophisticated. Okay, there is a mobile X-ray, can be given, dapat dipolah apa. So to me, we must set a minimum rather than based on population alone. Okay.
A holistic approach, such as multi-dimensional poverty index, should be implemented by the government in response to tackling the matter of poor states in Malaysia.
According to Dr. Anwar, the index are being practiced by the United Nations Development Programme to eradicate poverty. It consists a total of 10 parameters.
Why I prefer this multidimensional? Because it looks at different angles. Okay, it looks very holistic. So you don't look at poverty based on the income alone. You look at poverty in terms of nutrition, in terms of mortality, in terms of access to clinics, okay? Access to clean water, living place condition, room crowdedness, how many toilet, garbage collection facilities, transportation, okay? And then also, of course, monthly house income, school years, school attendance, all have been looked into in this multidimensional poverty index.
Anwar, who is also the Assistant Minister of Housing and Community Development, added that through the index, assistance can be provided via health, education, housing, and more rather than monetary. As different areas require different necessity, the index will identify the focus of a location. At the same time, Anwar raised concerns regarding dilapidated schools in Sarawak, stating that it should be completely eradicated by the end of the 12th Malaysia Plan. According to him, there are about 1,020 dilapidated schools in Sarawak, and half of them have been taken care of through the allocation by the state government. The progress is, however, slow. With more assistance from the federal government, the problem could be addressed more efficiently.
The 12 Malaysia plan is a way forward for Sarawak, described Minister of Welfare, Community Wellbeing, Women, Family and Childhood Development, Datuk Sri Fatimah Abdullah. For her, Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob has his best interest in addressing issues often raised by Sarawakians stipulated in Malaysian Agreement 1963.
Fatimah stated Sarawak is still far behind in many aspects such as basic infrastructure and facilities like roads connecting to villages and a standard drainage system. She also stressed the lack of internet access in rural areas, which have negatively affected students in the said area as classes are conducted online. At the same time, the Dalat State Assemblywoman commends the federal government for addressing settlement issues where houses in rural areas are in dire need of reconstruction. Therefore, she welcomes the initiative by the federal government in allocating a large budget to address this matter.
Salaran Initiative. By 2030, the Sarawak government aims for Sarawak to become a developed state driven by data and innovation. The smart city concept is introduced to improve the efficiency of digital infrastructures. The smart traffic light system are available throughout Kuching, especially traffic congested roads, which can reduce travel time by 25%. With Sarawak Pay, the first e-wallet implemented by the Sarawak government helps to accelerate Sarawak's economic growth and encourage cashless payments. In addition, the online agriculture marketplace has eased rural farmers to promote and sell their products. Meanwhile, 800 CCTVs will be installed throughout Greater Kuching by the end of 2021 to provide a safer environment for the community. This will not only help with crime prevention, but also to warn of natural disasters and emergencies.
Kami nak mau cari wantan yang halal. Yang paling susah kami mau cari sebenarnya.
Selain wantan, kami ada jual sumai, kami ada jual dumpling.
Di sini kita akan ke Baut Sarawak, jauh sikit daripada Kuching tu, untuk mengalami suasana duduk di rumah panjang. Dengan cerita si Elia sebenarnya dari kecil dan yang mula minat mengolah seni tembikar. Dan yang mengolah seni tembikar sejak umurnya 6 tahun. Dalam rancangan Keringat Usahawan.
Mengira hari bila lagi biar tu nak SPM. Sebab tak sabar-sabar nak habis. Beli kuih je pun pagi-pagi. Saya tak ada duit. Dengan mak pergi pasar Setutong. Beli kuih. Dan kita amuk kuih ya. Mak cakap macam tu. Macam budak kecil kita buat macam gitu kan. Tetapi ada masanya kita ini diuji. Jangan lupa saksikan kami Cikgu Azila di Gaspirasi setiap Rabu jam 9 malam hanya di TVS saluran 122 Astro dan My TV.
Welcome back. A situation that depicts light at the end of a tunnel. Malaysia today reported just 10,959 new COVID-19 cases, a gradual decrease from the previous months. In a Twitter post, Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah shared that the country's total cumulative infection is now 2,209,194. Only 2 states recorded 4-digit infections, namely Sarawak, 2,733 cases, and Johor, 1,226. Meanwhile, other states reported cases of less than 1,000 infections. This comes as more than 83.1% of adult Malaysians are fully vaccinated. The Ministry of Health, MOH, has given the green light for husbands who have been inoculated to accompany their wives in the maternity ward. Its Minister, Khairi Jamaluddin, had asked the Director General of Health, Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah, to issue such permission in all government hospitals.
However, Khairi said those who wishes to accompany their wives in labor need to undergo RTK tests before being allowed to do so. Responding to the same request, Dr. Noor Hisham also informed that he will issue instructions to allow completely vaccinated husbands to accompany their wives in the maternity ward. Previously, government hospitals did not allow spouses to accompany their wives in the maternity ward since the implementation of the Movement Control Order MCO begun in March last year.
The opening of the economic, tourism and education sectors in stages, the relaxations of the standard operating procedures under the National Recovery Plan (PPN). Hence, the COVID-19 self-test kits will become an essential item as part of the new normal.
The government is considering a new control price on the COVID-19 self-test kits earlier than the expected date in December. Deputy Minister of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs, Dato' Rosal Wahid, said discussions are currently underway. He also welcomes the initiative taken by the industry players in lessening the burden of the public by offering the kits at a lower price than the set ceiling price of RM19.90 per unit or RM16 for wholesale. Beginning October, the self-test kits would also be available at supermarkets and convenience stores.
The patterns on batiks are usually inspired by nature and are beautifully drawn by experts.
The title Adi Guru or Master is a title well earned and should be respected greatly, as it is not easy to gain knowledge, experience, and techniques that can later be shared with generations to come.
Join me, Arabird, as we learn more about the art of batik here on The Cloth Story.
Jangan lupa saksikan saya, Sharon Kezia dan juga
Kapten Syamsia
pada setiap hari
Selasa
hanya di TVS saluran 122 Astro dan My TV. Suara wanita menginspirasikan duniamu.
Paparan menarik bantras COVID-19 minggu ini.
Saringan telah meningkat daripada 50,000 ke angka 150,000 saringan yang dijalankan pada setiap hari.
Mereka semua memberi teamwork yang baik dalam mengurus pesakit-pesakit yang sangat kritikal.
Anakku nak sekolah, anak saya nak sekolah. Semua orang nak sekolah, nak jalani kehidupan macam biasa.
Pastikan anda bersama kami Bantras COVID-19 setiap Isnin jam 10 malam hanya di TVS.
Hai semua, jangan lupa saksikan Inspirasi TVS, segmen berita yang mengetengahkan laporan berkaitan rakyat, hiburan serta topik trending.
Inspirasi TVS dan saya Melissa Francis.
Saya Harry Francis.
Saya Dewi Liana Suryasta.
Dan saya Tony Yusof.
Saya Bob Yusof akan menemani anda.
Dan saya Mahmud Ali Bashar.
Dan saya Nana Shimi.
Dan saya Andung Indrawani.
Saya Karen Libau.
Welcome back, and here's some foreign update. Drone footage showed the extension of the lava streams engulfing towns and fields as they flowed from the Cumbre Vieja volcano in La Palma.
A rapid river of red-hot lava can be seen flowing down the slopes of the crater, passing close to homes and swatches of land and buildings engulfed by a black mass of slower-moving, older lava. On September 27, the volcano in La Palma was quieter and less active than in the previous days, but experts did not rule out further explosions could start again. Emergency authorities ordered people in an area on the eastern shore of La Palma Island to lock down as the lava gushing from the Cumbre Vieja volcano approaches the sea. The 1,250 degrees Celsius lava may touch the Atlantic Ocean in the coming hours, likely causing explosions and send clouds of toxic gases over the island, the Canary Islands Emergency Services warned on Monday morning. People in the coastal areas of San Borondon, Marina Alta and Bahia and La Condesa were ordered to lock down. La Palma, with a population of over 83,000, is one of an archipelago making up the Canary Islands.
Kabul residents on Monday said they hoped for a clean government free of corruption.
زموږ دا غوښتنه ده چې د افغانستان حق کشر خپل کسان ناغون کې مشران او حکومت په جوړ کې د افغانستان کې د الله نور صلح امن و قلاری راوړي.
هر کس کاردار به اهل کار بسپارن. کسی که یاد داشته باشه که یاد نداشته باشه مثل ثابت کار خراب و دزا و فساد و هر چیز زیاد میشه و دیگه خودشان که کار کنن بسیار خوب است که دولت ها به رسمیت بشناسه و تجارت شروع شود.
The new administration has stepped up efforts to open up the country and gain international acceptance following the collapse of the Western-backed government last month. Since taking power, the Taliban have grappled with a severe economic crisis and have faced pressure on issues ranging from girls' education to allegations of reprisals against former officials and others associated with the previous government. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has said that the Taliban's desire for international recognition is the only leverage other countries have to press for inclusive government and respect for rights, particularly in women in Afghanistan.
Now, speed has always been paramount for supercar makers, and now they're in the race of their lives to go electric before climate policy cuts their combustion engines. That is why the likes of Ferrari and Mercedes-Benz are turning to startups such as Oxford-based electric motor company YASA for expertise and technology to solve the unique challenges of electrifying the highest performance vehicles.
So what YASA's technology enables is for vehicle manufacturers to get a longer driving range. So you can drive your car further on a single battery charge with our motor, about 10% further than you could with a conventional motor that's in all other vehicles today. And that's what's one of the very unique things about YASA's technology, is the efficiency that allows a longer driving range. And that also comes through because it's much, much lighter. It's a third the weight of conventional motors. And again, that means you use less battery to drive a single mile or something like that.
Batteries are immensely heavy and electric motors overheat if driven too hard. Big problems for a niche industry that charges hundreds of thousands of dollars for lightweight cars capable of screaming around 10 laps off a track at full throttle. This year, Daimler bought YASA, which has developed an axial flux high-performance electric motor that weighs 23 kilogram, a fraction of a near 300 kilogram V12 engine in a Ferrari, and is about the size and shape of a steering wheel. YASA already makes motors for Ferrari, Swedish supercar maker Koenigsegg, plus an unnamed British supercar company. It will now supply the high-performance AMG brand at Daimler, which will soon assume the name of its car business, Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah, so YASA's technology is already in production with Ferrari in the SF90. It is also in production with another supercar manufacturer. And now we're working and have been working for a couple of years with Mercedes on a battery electric vehicle that will come out, an AMG version of a vehicle that will come out in a few years from now.
Makers of high-performance electric cars will ultimately have to find ways to develop lighter, more powerful batteries. But as today's battery technology cannot compete with the sustained power of a petrol engine, they are also rethinking everything from electric motors to car body materials.
So typically, almost all electric cars that are on the market today use a type of electric motor called a radial motor that is sausage-shaped, and actually it is bigger. It's about 3 times the size of YASA's technology and 3 times the weight of our technology as well, and also has about a 10% less efficiency from that motor.
YASA has a small facility at its Oxford headquarters where it makes motors for Ferrari's SF90 Stradale hybrid and 296 GTB hybrid models and test motors for AMG.
Well, that's conclude TVS Nightline. Ruben Gomez, anytime, anywhere.